Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to Dudes and Brews. That sounds awful. Right to the brim. So it's 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1 ounce of your favorite vodka. Today we're using Tito's. And then half an ounce of simple syrup. Stir that up a little bit. Throw some ice in it. And then we'll top it off with some beer. So a few weeks ago, I brewed an IPA. I did a SMaSH IPA. So it's single malt, single hop. Single malt, I used just regular like 2-row Pilsner malt. Mm-hmm. And then I used, the hop I used was lemon drop hops. Now at the end of the boil, I did add some lemon peel as well, some dried lemon peel. Mm-hmm. But with this one, I added hops literally every 10 minutes. Okay. So a 60-minute boil, every 10 minutes we added hops in. So I want you to try the beer first, because I did this 2 ways. Made a beer. And then I said, hey,
what's going on?
I really like, one of my favorite cocktails is a whiskey sour.
Okay.
So I said, hey, why don't we make a whiskey sour, but with this beer? And instead of whiskey, we'll do vodka, and we'll top it off.
It's just funny.
It's just inspired.
Yeah, I know. You're like, and then instead of this, let's do this, and then this. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you didn't have a whiskey drink at all.
Not at all.
The IPA smells amazing. Oh, man.
It's got a weird bitter smell because of the lemon drop hops, I think. I don't think it's what I would say traditional bitter.
It has that bitter taste. It's pretty good, man. This ain't bad. The smell is really good, though. But now that I drank it and then you smell it again, the smell definitely changes.
Yeah, the smell's weird to me. But I think it's also got a different bitterness because it's bitter from like the peel. I don't think I would put as much peel in it next time.
Yeah, it smells really bitter especially once you taste it. So it's definitely going to be on the bitter end of the taste for sure.
Yeah, it's more bitter than it is sweet, which is what you would expect because there's not a whole lot of malt. It's really those SMaSH beers. You really want the hops to shine. Mm-hmm. Is why you would do those SMaSH beers.
Yeah, so, the hops are shining for sure.
Lemon drop hops. My first time to ever use them. First time to ever have them. So I'd never had them in anything else personally. But yeah, no, I think it's pretty good. I don't mind it. It's crushable at 5.25%. So it's not too crazy. So something we can drink in the summer. I think I made it like 2 months too early.
Yeah, maybe.
In my opinion.
I mean, spring's here. You know what I mean? It's here. We had our last winter spill this last week, but It's safe to say the groundhog's out. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Thumper, Bambi, they're all running amok.
So try the lemon drop. So it's called Lemonade Mouth is what the beer's called. So this would be the Lemonade Mouth cocktail.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. This seems like a good summertime drink.
Right. You get a little bitterness from the hops, but it's not overpowering.
So what was the ratio of vodka to IPA again?
So basically, you just do 1-to-1 when it comes to vodka and lemon juice.
Okay.
So and then do like half ratio to 0.5 of simple syrup.
Yeah.
And then whatever glass you have, you just top it off. So kind of like what you would do with like if you're making like a Moscow Mule. Mm-hmm. You do the simple syrup and the vodka, and then you just top it off with ginger beer. That's the same thing. You're just topping it off with the IPA.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Because it's so citrusy, you can't even taste beer in this. It just adds more citrus flavor.
I agree. I think it's a little bit more bitter than your average cocktail.
Yeah, maybe.
But not much. Not much at all.
But that citrus, all that citrus mixed with that bitterness, this is good. I think I'd lean towards this over the beer right now. Summertime blues right here.
So that was the idea, was to have a beer that you could mix into a cocktail of some kind. Mm-hmm. And this one, I think, works extremely well. It's good by itself, but I would say it's even better.
Mm-hmm. This drink, it should be called the front porch picking.
The front porch picking.
Where you get your guitar pick out,
yeah,
and you sip on this on the front porch, and you pick a couple of songs.
Oh, and there's a song that has that. Front porch picking.
Really? Is it a thing?
I think so.
My in-laws, I heard them use that term whenever they did, because they have a huge front porch.
It's like an Alan Jackson song. Hold on, I know it is.
I didn't even know it was a real thing. But yeah, my in-laws, they did a little front porch concert, almost like a summer music series, except for I think it was just one event. And they had some musicians
where I
come out.
From.
Oh, this is a classic too, huh?
Yeah, right here it says, he says there's a lot of front porch sitting.
Front porch sitting.
I thought he always said front porch picking.
Trying to make a living. Work hard to get to heaven, where I come from.
Yeah, but I always thought he said front porch picking. So I didn't know he said sitting.
Well.
So maybe it's not a song then.
Either way, I think we're vibing with him.
Something.
I think this song, you need to listen to this song, sitting on the front porch, sipping on this drink, summertime. That combo, boom, magic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way to go. So maybe I need to. So what I'm hearing, because this was a cheap beer to make, because I already had all the ingredients. I just had to buy some hops, and I got a lot of those hops left because I bought them in a pound. I didn't use the entire pound of hops. So maybe I'm gonna just make it again in the summertime.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let me go back to the beer now.
Now you're gonna go, this beer tastes like shit in comparison.
Nah, the beer wasn't bad. Let me smell it again. The lyrics of that song were funny.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
Alan Jackson doesn't... He's great. He's traditional, but he's not... he's not going to blow you away with his lyrics.
No, where I come from, it's cornbread and chicken. Where I come from, a lot of front porch picking. You know what I mean? The sign said finger licking. Like... Hold you like my biscuit?
He does say front porch picking down here in the second verse.
Oh, he does, yeah.
In the second verse. I didn't realize that.
Yep. I'll be honest with you, ma'am. It ain't like mama fixed it. Oh, dang.
So he goes, it says...
Pulled up to a country kitchen.
Well, I pay the tab, and the lady asked me, how do I like my biscuit? Well, I'll be honest with you, ma'am. It's not like mama fixed it. Well, that's where I come from.
I mean, that line and that song, that's like a fifth of the song right there, that little section.
Yeah.
And he wrote that all about a time he was in Detroit and he went to a country kitchen. And,
yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool. What did that have to do with anything else? Cool story, bro.
I mean, he was trying to figure out how to make things rhyme.
I guess. Well,
and
also
biscuit
the point
and
is
fix it.
this ain't. So he's like, okay, I got it. So he's sitting there writing a song. He's like, all right, where I come from, things are great. I need to think of some good examples of when I wasn't home and stuff wasn't so good. Oh, I was in Detroit and that biscuit sucked. And like that's the best example. It's like, dude, if that's the best example, maybe you shouldn't write the song. Maybe
Right.
you should wait until you have some better stuff.
No, that is a hit single. And you think I'm lying. That is a hit single. So I would say, in my opinion, with this beer, I'd give it a solid 4.
Yeah, it's hard to rate your own beer. There's always going to be some bias. It's good. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially for
So
IPA. I
then
like it. It's not,
I
so,
will
not
say
too crazy.
It only comes in at 46 IBUs, which is pretty low. Like, if you think about, like, what's it called? The Mango SMaSH IPA?
It's similar to that, right? It's got a similar.
Mango SMaSH is actually not a smash. They use 6 different hops.
I mean, it's similar in the citrus flavor.
Theirs is more bitter at 70. Do you what's an IPA that you know is bitter? You're like, that's a good IPA, but it's a little bitter.
I can't even think of any ones right now. I mean, yeah, 60-minute IPA.
60 Minute has 60 IBUs. So mine does come in lower in the IBU, so it's not going to be quite as bitter. 46. I think I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it to feel like you were chewing grass.
Right.
So I will take my rating off the table since I technically made it. So what do you give it?
I'm going to give it a 4.
A 4?
I'm going to give it a 4. I liked it. I actually love it right now. Yeah. So in the moment, right now, feeling it, giving it a 4. What would be the difference between this type of SMaSH IPA and a milkshake IPA? Like, what's this missing that would make it a milkshake?
So typically, a SMaSH is literally just one malt, one hop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can put in hops in different time frames as far as like your hop schedule, but it's just one variety of hop. With a milkshake IPA, I mean, you could do a SMaSH milkshake.
Right.
Which would be the same thing, same grain bill, basically. So one malt, one hop, and then you would just add like milk sugars to it.
Milk sugar. Okay, that's all. Maybe try next time with some milk sugar.
That's literally the only thing that you would add to it.
Yeah, maybe something to sweeten it up a little bit. I wouldn't even reduce the hops or the peels that you said. It's not too bitter to me at all.
No, what I was thinking about doing is putting some more hops forward, like just adding more at the beginning of the boil. Mm-hmm. So it does come through more hop bitter and do less lemon peel, because it's a different kind of bitterness that you get out of the lemon peel versus hops. And maybe it's just something I'm not used to, and that's why it's kind of weird to me. But I mean, it's just, I shouldn't say weird. It's just different. It's different.
That's good. All right, let's see what it says here. Have you presented this beer to anybody else to taste it and give their opinion?
No, you're the first one. I'm
First
curious
one.
to have Brian taste it, since he's what I would say an IPA connoisseur.
I think what you should do, though, is you need to do more of a blind taste. Like, give him one that's not yours, and then give him yours. And then have him rate both of them. So that you don't get some biased thing. You know what I mean? It's really hard whenever I'm, like, face-to-face with you, and I'm like,
No, if it sucks, tell me it sucks. Because you want me to tell you this?
I don't think it sucks at all.
I drank it one night, and I go, man, we're going to rate this on the show, and Larry's going to say it smells and tastes like dirty dishwater.
No, but it doesn't have that dishwater taste.
Well, for some reason, I don't know if it was like the first couple of pulls off the tap, because sometimes, like, when the stuff settles at the bottom, you get kind of weird pulls off the tap. So maybe that's what it was, because I honestly was like, I mean, it's not bad, but I see why he says dishwater sometimes.
Yeah, this doesn't taste like that, though. This has a unique... It tastes like real beer.
Oh, it does?
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't taste homebrewed.
So it sounds like I'm getting better.
I say so. Yeah,
That's good.
I say much better. The look of it is really good, too, and it's really carbonated without being too carbonated.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was way too carbonated the other day, and I had to let some CO2 out of the tank. But so this tells you what a a milkshake IPA is if you want to read this first paragraph.
All right, so the bare bones of milkshake IPA would be a hazy, okay, but it's with milk sugar. So it is the milk sugar. I love whatever that milk sugar taste is. Every milkshake IPA I've ever had is like, that's my favorite. Like, it's kind of like I would say milkshake, juicy, maybe hazy. Like, those would be like the top three order of the ones I like.
So when I brewed this, and you'll have to go to the link in the description to see the full episode because I put a full video of me brewing this one, and I reviewed a bunch of beers.
Mm-hmm.
So I reviewed a West Coast, I reviewed a New England, I reviewed a milkshake, and then I reviewed a SMaSH.
Okay.
So I drank a lot of beer that day, but I looked them up and talked about what the differences were. So when it comes to a New England NEPA, a juicy, a hazy, they're all the same. It's just East Coast. It's all New England. They just have different names for them. They're all the same.
The hazy is the same as the
hazy, juicy. They're technically all the same. It's just a matter of how they market it.
Okay.
It's all going to be a New England style. Typically, New England style is going to be a little hazy. Typically, New England style is going to be a little juice forward.
I like the juice forward.
Not going to be quite as bitter.
Yeah, but if they're marketing it as a juicy beer, then you expect it to taste juicy.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You expect
like
them to
other juicy
maybe
beers.
We added some hops that are specifically like citrus forward.
Yeah, and maybe the brewers maybe they were going to call it juicy, but then they tasted it and they go, it tastes more like what other people call hazy.
Right.
So we're going to call it hazy
Exactly.
instead.
That's exactly it.
All right.
It's all a marketing ploy. Literally, it's East versus West Coast. That's the easiest way to look at it.
So you asked me what would be like a bitter one, West Coast IPAs. Those are really
anything
bitter.
that would be West Coast.
Those are really bitter.
Yeah, like the first one that comes to mind is like a Ballast Point or a Stone.
Look at that. Polished it off, dude. That's what a 4.
Really like
that's a 4 right there.
But yeah, like a Stone or a Ballast Point are the two that come to mind right away when it comes to West Coast, real grazy, like piney.
Yeah, real grazy. Which is funny that Ballast Point is from the West Coast.
Yeah.
So they're like
both of them
true.
are. I think
Stone's
from not San Diego, I don't think, but I think that they're from California.
They're California. Stone
We're gonna
Brewers.
I want to make sure I'm not.
I wonder if this is one of those breweries that is owned by a major brewer, or like a brewing company or a major drink company. Just because you see Stone everywhere.
Yeah, and you see
Marcos,
Ballast Point everywhere too.
Not everywhere, but yeah, like if I go to Walmart anywhere, I see a Stone.
Oh,
Ballast Point is like more of, it does have a good reach.
Liquor stores.
Stores.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. When you say
Stone,
everywhere, you literally mean everywhere.
Yeah, Stone is like, you go to a grocery store, no matter what state you're in, and you see the Stone IPA. At least the basic regular IPA.
Right. I wonder when they were established. That's what I'm thinking, is that they were established like
1996.
So that has a lot to do with it. They've had a long time to be able to make something.
They have a documentary, The Beer Jesus of America. It's their own documentary.
Huh.
On Stone Brewing, whatever.
Huh. I may have to look it up, because I know that Dogfish Head did like a documentary series like in 2014 or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like a 6-part like mini series. That was really cool.
We could even watch a I love documentaries. We could watch a documentary and then do a review of it.
That's actually a really good idea.
But I can only imagine, like, it would have to be intriguing. Beer, it's like, if you're 2 beer documentaries, what's going to make them stand out from the other one?
Well, so I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. And you may have seen this with Dogfish Head. They do some really weird beers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, I don't know what it was called. I don't think it's the Midas Touch.
The Midas Touch is weird.
Yeah, it's weird beer, but there's one that they did where literally, because they talked about it in one of the episodes, where everybody on staff was literally just chewing corn.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
spit it into a bucket.
Yeah.
And they used that corn to brew the beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that kind of stuff is what sets that documentary apart from somebody else.
If they do unique stuff, yeah.
Right.
On Eternals, you haven't seen the movie Eternals.
No.
One of them, because they kind of split up, all the superhero guys, and then one of them, he brews beer And whenever they all go visit him, he pours them all beer, and they're all like, "Oh, this is good." And he says that he chewed the corn himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he said that. It's
Oh,
funny.
that's
So I'm
cool.
like, oh, I guess it's
He chewed the corn himself.
yeah, he chewed the
that's
corn,
cool.
and it was like the Asian dude, the big guy.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
They did that, and it's some ancient thing that they did
Yeah.
like 100 years ago or something.
Right.
That-
Yeah, it gets fermented from your spit.
Yeah.
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 Nasty.
So they literally had. I mean, they talked about it where like people's jaws were hurting because they were chewing so much corn throughout the day while they're working. And like,
Dude,
It's great.
Have I ever told you about the corn chowder bit
no, what are you talking about?
from Human Giant? It
I'm not even
reminded me
familiar
of
with Human Giant. What's that?
Just because you were saying like your jaw was hurting, like somebody was doing it as their job, right? Like they're chewing corn as their
Yeah.
job. Human Giant was a sketch comedy show on MTV, but it's like Aziz Ansari, Rob, like Paul Sheen.
Oh, I didn't know. I've never
All
even
these
seen this.
comedians came from this sketch
Oh,
comedy
Matt
show.
Walsh. This dude's hilarious.
Yes. Well, what's funny is he's in this bit that I was actually thinking about with the corn chowder.
Oh, really? Okay.
And here's the idea of the bit. I mean, maybe we should just watch it. I should just show it to you instead of telling you about it because it's so great. It was really hard for me to find, but I found it. One time I did find it, and I found it in a show where Paul Scheer was talking about things, and he was able to show it like in like a TV screen within a TV screen. But this bit's hilarious.
Was it a
dude.
story that he was doing?
Yeah, it's just a sketch where it's like they come. All right, I guess I'm just going to walk you through it here, right?
Yep.
So they come in, and then they're like, they're roommates, and they come in and they see their roommate sitting there eating this corn chowder, and he's going ham on it, and they're like, "Dude, you're eating that corn chowder like it's your job." And then he's like, "Dude, it is my job." And then they're like, "What?" And then right then his boss comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "Get back to work. I'm not paying you to talk. I'm paying you to eat corn chowder."
Get out of here.
And then they're like, "What is going on?" And they're trying to be genuine, like this is just weird.
Yeah.
And then so he plays them this video, and the video is like, "You may be asking yourself, how is eating corn chowder a job, or how is it a business model?" And they have this video, and it's like corn chowder, and then it has a hand, and it points to the hand,
Yeah.
and the hand has money in it. And then it points back, and it goes, and it circles back. And it's just like this circle graph that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious, dude. This show used to be great. Like, I can't believe that. Hey, I mean, I guess they moved on with their life, right? But
I mean, a lot of people started out doing sketch comedy. I had never seen this show, so this must have been before my time. Like, I do recognize one of the guys. Matt Walsh, because he was on a show. I think it only lasted for one season called Dog Bites Man.
okay.
And it was, you can call it a sketch show. It was basically him and like four other people, because Zach Galifianakis was in it. He had a very
Nice.
he was like a camera guy or something. And what they were is they were a news team. They were a news crew.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like almost like did you ever watch the Ollie G show?
No, but I know what it is.
Yeah, so like that kind of like improv, kind of like I go into to do weird things in front of real people.
Okay.
And they would do news stories and interview people, but the news stories would be something really stupid. And they would interview people.
See, I didn't even know Ollie G was that way, but I guess it makes sense with the Bruno movie.
It's
and,
just like that. It's just it's just a different character.
Yeah. Or even kind of the way that they're going with like Bad Grandpa or whatever. The
exact same thing.
Stuff. Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff.
Ollie G is the one that started it out. He was just some weird gangster guy. But
I remember him from the
exact same
commercials.
thing.
Like I remember commercials for the show, and that was it.
Right.
But that's cool. And Paul Scheer, he moved on to even do the show The League. You ever watch The League? There's
This
a lot of
dude
comedians.
is from The League.
Even
yes.
John LaJoy was on there.
Dude, The League was good.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not even a sports football fan or fantasy football fan.
Yeah, The League was great. There's another guy on there too that's a stand-up comic that was actually pretty good.
Probably John LaJoy, the pretty much the dumb one on the show, right?
No, not him.
I'm sure they're all stand-up comedians, dude. They're all comedians to begin with.
I want to
So
say his name is Steve Renazizi. But the show was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Nick Kroll.
Steve Renazizi.
Yeah.
Is
Look
who
at the
I'm
full
thinking
cast. I can't believe you've never heard of John LaJoy. I actually saw him live, and dude, he was so good. I forgot. That was like one of the first comedy shows I ever went to.
Like a stand-up show?
Yeah. Where is he? Up in the upper right-hand corner. He's like plays songs. He's the kind of comedian that like plays songs and does different stuff. Like he might draw, he might play songs, he might talk.
So like
he might just tell a random story.
Like a Stephen Lynch?
Kind of. Or like a Demetrius Martin.
Like a Bo Burnham?
I don't know who that is.
He does that too. So Demetrius Martin, oh my gosh.
He's great.
He was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When I was in school, because he put out a comedy special when I was in high school. And it was like him drawing on like a mat.
Yeah, he would even draw with two hands at the same time. Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't seen anything new. I've understood that he still does stuff, but I'm gonna be honest. I think that the skit or the bit can only go out so long.
Of course.
When he's drawing things, I want him to evolve a little bit.
Well, did you ever watch his show?
It was kind of the same thing.
But it was good.
I didn't get into it.
I don't remember anything about it, but I remember I liked every episode.
You just remember the way it made
I just remember,
you feel.
yeah, it made me feel good. And for honestly, like comedians, to me, like I don't like to watch recorded stand-up. They don't make me laugh out loud. But you got to be there. So, I mean, if I was able to watch a show and I remember it making me feel good, then it must have been good.
So you don't like watching like specials, like on like Netflix or whatever it is?
Every time I try, I make it a little bit in, and then I'm like, this is
really.
It almost makes me feel uncomfortable.
So you're.
It's weird. I'm like, I feel weird that I'm not laughing out loud.
So you're a part of the statistic then. So the stats
I'm a statistic, huh?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Awesome.
So what I understand is that the stats say that the average person watches maybe 20 minutes of a stand-up special and then turns it off.
I wouldn't even say I'm the average person because I'd say I don't watch stand-ups. But if I've ever tried, it's been 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes, and you're like, no thanks.
I can't remember watching a whole one. Other than when I was young and I'd watch like Dave Chappelle.
Dude, Theo's was great. I
tried Theo's because I love Theo, but I'm like, I don't know. I just can't get behind it.
His latest one made me laugh. And then I like Bert Kreischer. His is always great when he does his.
I'd go watch him in person.
Like,
they sound good.
Like, Tom Segura is somebody that I like to listen to on podcasts, but his stand-up, I think he'd be really good live, but his stand-up on like Netflix, the jokes are funny. Like, I understand them. And they make sense, and I understand why they would be funny, but they don't make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better if I was in that environment. It's just like going to, like when I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was like, yeah, going to the movies is great because comedy movies are funnier.
Yep.
Scary movies are scarier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. That's why comedy is so great, is because of the environment.
Yeah, you got to be immersed in it.
Yeah.
Dude, I went and saw, and I kind of alluded to this the other day, but I forgot to circle back and tell you. I went and saw The Batman, the new one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, it is the best Batman
movie you went and saw it
ever.
in theaters. It was probably packed.
It was pretty packed because it just came out. Yeah, it was pretty packed.
Which makes the experience better.
But it wasn't like there's any noise being made by people. It wasn't that kind of movie, dude. The whole movie was like, you know how they always say Batman movies, like, this one's grittier than the rest. This one was actually the grittiest one.
Oh, really?
So much that the whole movie was raining. Dude, it was so awesome. I'd go watch it again in the theater. Really? It was so good. Huh. You need to go watch that one in the theater.
Maybe I should. Because I remember watching the Dark Knight in theaters.
Yeah, the Christopher Nolan movies, man.
I know.
Hindsight, I thought they were good, but then I rewatched them and they suck. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, then you should rewatch this Batman movie and tell me it sucks, because everything you rewatch sucks.
This does not suck. This is solid. There's so much good storytelling in this movie, man, where it doesn't even have to have dialogue. Okay. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to have some backstory that it gives you. Like, you learn about the backstory. You learn about the characters just from watching the movie because the plot itself is so good.
Yeah.
And it's closer to like a Bone Collector or Seven movie where it's like, there's a serial murderer.
Yeah.
And Batman gets drawn into that.
Oh, so he actually plays a detective?
Yeah. So it's a detective type, yeah.
Which, I mean, is what he's in the comics, he's known as like the greatest detective ever.
Yeah, and the original, he started off in like the detective comics.
Yeah.
So he goes back to
those old school detective comics. Exactly. I remember those, yeah.
So it did go back to the roots with it, and Christopher, I think it's Christopher, right? Patterson, the the guy.
No, it's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Christopher Patterson.
It's
Robert,
the Twilight guy.
he did good, man. He killed it. He was the best Batman. It was really good.
Man, I guess I'll have to watch it. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just that, like, when it comes to going to the movies, if it's not something I'm excited about, I don't go.
Well, I went because I heard that song. There's a Nirvana song. I can't even think of what it's called now. It's like something in the way. It's like real low toned down the whole time. That song started trending really big this week on like Spotify and everything because like I guess all the kids like never knew about it, so they all listened to it. Yeah, look, Nirvana, Something in the Way.
Something in the Way. Okay.
That song started trending because of this movie, and I love that song.
Yeah.
So I listened to the song when I read that. I listened to the song a couple times, and I was like feeling the song.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, let's go watch that Batman movie.
Guess I should go watch that movie.
And then, dude, it was good. The score was perfect, and that was like the only song that they used other than a score, other than just like violins, piano. And then that song,
yeah.
They didn't use a big soundtrack of songs.
Okay.
But then the rest of the score sounds kind of like that song, and it has that same sound.
Okay, so this leads me to wanting to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is there any song that you hear that immediately makes you think of a movie? Because the first one that comes to mind for me is "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies.
What's the movie?
It immediately makes me think at the very, very end of Fight Club when he's sitting there. So I don't even care. It's been more than a year. I don't care if there's spoiler alerts. So he shoots himself in the face.
Yeah.
And he comes back to, and he's like he's himself.
Yeah.
And you start to see the buildings start to collapse.
Oh yeah.
And that's when the song comes.
Yeah.
Where's
My
Mind
good.
starts playing. It's immediately what I think.
That's a good. I'm trying to think of another example. It's been a while, man. I swear, I feel like this whole like lockdown pandemic crap like really fried my brain when it comes to like remembering how good things used to be with movies. Like all movies and music and everything kind of came to an end, and it's like, oh yeah, we used to be into stuff like that. Now it's like everything's crap.
You got to get back into it.
Yeah,
man.
so I'm like, I need to get back into like before all this. Like, what were those good movies and good songs with them?
Like
can't think of
that's
it.
one that I always think Fight Club, and this is just something off the top of my head. Normally I come up with questions and topics here. This is all on the fly. So another one that, and every time I hear it, I think the exact same thing. I think two movies. Have you ever heard the song "Tuesday's Gone" by Leonard Skinner?
I don't know it.
I
Maybe
think
if
of
heard
two
it.
movies. Tuesday's gone in the wind.
I don't know
I
that
think
song.
of two movies.
What is
I
the-
think
what are the
of
movies?
and for some reason it happens to be at the end of the movie as well. The very end of Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
So they get the house back.
Yep.
They're there. He's presenting the house to his grandma. Then credits roll. The song "Tuesday's Gone's" playing.
Okay.
And then I also think of the movie Days of Confused. So they're at that.
that movie has so many songs.
But they're at that party, and those two dudes get into a fight, and then about that time the party kind of ends. The beer's gone. Tuesday's Gone's playing. So it's like every time I hear Tuesday's Gone again, I say, all right, cool, the party's over.
Wasn't one of them Ben Affleck in the fight?
No.
He was a bully. I didn't know if he was part of the fight.
Not in that field party that they had.
Yeah.
It was like some Hispanic guy and like the kind of, I feel like it's the guy that was trying to find his identity. Or he was trying to be a nerd, but he was trying to be cool.
Oh yeah, the
He
main
had
guy.
it was a guy that had like a plaid shirt. He hung out with the blonde-headed guy with the round glasses.
See what I mean?
haven't
Like
seen that movie in so long.
I forgot movies existed.
Really?
Yeah. You should come up with a list though. You should come up with a list of like movie and song pairings, and like we like look at them and kind of like try to see like which one stands out to me because I can't think of any. I'm thinking of like, I just seriously can't think of any.
Like those are the movies that come to mind.
Here we
for
go.
me
Here's a list.
Immediately.
What about like Pocahontas and the Color of the Wind? No.
No. Like, see those. Oh, Stuck in the Middle with You and Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
That one is great. Because honestly, so Steelers Wheel is the one that did Stuck in the Middle with You, and honestly, I don't think it was released on an album outside of the soundtrack.
Donnie Darko, Head Over Heels. I don't think that's the song. There is a song that's remade in Donnie Darko, and it makes that movie, and it might be that 80s nostalgia. Have you ever watched Donnie Darko?
Actually, I haven't. That's a movie that everything about it says I would love it, but I haven't actually watched it.
Head Over Heels. I wonder if that's the song.
Now, I will say, Don't Stop Me Now and Shaun of the Dead. You know, don't stop me. And they're in the bar and they're having a fight with zombies.
Yeah.
Because the song starts, he's like, oh, okay. And he starts like beating this guy up to the beat of the song.
I'm going to search Head Over Heels.
That one's good.
Head Over Heels. There's just a Donnie Darko song, and I wish I can hear it. I can't even hear it in my head.
So this made me think, when I saw this one from Stuck in the Middle with You from Reservoir Dogs, it made me think of a movie called, this is a terrible movie. Nobody should ever watch it. I don't know why I ever watched it. It's just the epitome of evil, in my opinion.
What is it?
Kids.
Oh, yeah. I used to love that movie when I was a kid. It is trash.
I don't know why.
Yeah, well, because it's trash, and when you're a kid, you're like,
you like trash?
Drawn into trash.
But they have a song on there that, again, I think it's only on the soundtrack. They didn't release it. It's called, it's by a band called Folk Implosion.
I remember the song now, though, from Donnie Darko, and it's interesting.
Called Natural One.
It's interesting that they pull up another song and say that it's the Donnie Darko song, because I think it's Mad World.
Mad World is what you think of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mad World, which I think is also a remake. But look, they even have two versions, Mad World and Mad World, the alternate version, on the soundtrack.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they put two versions on the soundtrack. That's the song of the movie.
That's got to be the song then.
Yeah.
I mean, does it have a star next to it on iTunes?
Yeah, it's the only one with a star.
Then it's the single.
Yeah.
Then I need to watch the movie to see if Head Over Heels makes a difference or not.
You got to watch the movie, and you got to say, okay, what song is it? Head Over Heels or Mad World?
I will.
And there's even a punk rock screamo band that does this Mad World song.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And, I'm not even into that music, but it's like because of that.
Right. I'll have to check it out.
What else? Those weren't even that iconic to me. Like,
I mean, so Boogie Nights, again, a trash movie. It's a trash movie. You don't even need to.
Is that Mark Wahlberg? Yeah, I've never seen it.
He plays a porn star. He plays Doug Diggler.
Doug Diggler. Okay.
Are you familiar with who he is?
No. I know Mark Wahlberg, but I don't know Doug Diggler.
Don't ever look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely won't. Kill Bill. I love that movie. I would think Volume 1, that whistle song would be the song.
Right,
of it.
but is that an actual song though?
I don't know, but
that's the only thing I think
it's a tune.
And I know like the yeah yeahs are playing in that Asian place when they're murdering everybody and blood's going all over the place.
I think that's the song. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
That's the song here.
Oh,
Nobody
the
But
Crazy 8? Yeah,
the Crazy
right.
88. Yeah.
Crazy 88. Thank you.
But yeah, the rest of those aren't very iconic to me, so.
Yeah, but it just depends on what you're into. So that's the thing.
Uh-huh.
That's what becomes
legendary. Yeah.
difficult.
It for real, it does. That one's a good one. I Can't Take My Eyes Off You on 10 Things I Hate About You. He's like singing it to her.
Oh, yeah. That
was a cool
I've
scene.
seen the scene.
That was a cool scene. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
So I've never seen Thor Ragnarok, but the immigration song's in it.
Yes, that song is iconic. It was even in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Because the trailer, they kept it real vague. But
so
they
you're
played
like,
that song.
Good so far?
That's a good one.
So BuzzFeed's done it right so far.
Yep. Way better than that other site.
1,000 Miles. This is that song, Making Your Way Downtown. And he's like dancing. Okay, so yeah, I would say
and
that
when
too.
I think about that song, I do think of White Chicks.
Right. You always think of Terry Crews?
Yeah. I think of that. Yep.
It must have been love. I don't.
But it's over now.
Oh, is it?
It must have been love. However, I have never seen Pretty Woman.
I know what it's about, and I know I've seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've seen it in its entirety.
Same. I think I saw clips when I was a kid, but I'm like, as a kid, am I into a rom-com about a prostitute? Nah.
No, but I bet your mom was, and that's why you saw it.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's where I saw it.
This is that Don't Stop Me Now,
Yep.
which I would agree with.
Ooh, Mighty Ducks 2. Mighty Ducks 2,
So
or
specifically the second one, okay.
Because they had two Queen songs. They had "We Are the Champions," though.
That
was the song of that movie. They even played at the end when they win.
But the question is when you hear that song, do you immediately think Mighty Ducks?
I do. I think
you
Mighty
do.
Ducks
Okay,
too.
great.
And because of that song, I got into music because of that movie.
Oh, awesome.
So that was one of my first favorite songs.
Thank you, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, you know, whenever you like, when you're like, wow, I love this song, and it's like when that's the only song you love. Yeah. So, and then also the other song, "We Will Rock You on a Knight's Tale."
I've seen the movie, but I don't recall. I've seen that movie a handful of times, but we would watch it at school for whatever reason when it was like a day that the teacher didn't want to do anything.
It's weird. I bet there's stuff in there that shouldn't be shown to kids at school.
Probably.
I don't remember any, but it just seems that way.
I can imagine.
Yep.
Never saw Ella Enchanted.
Sames.
Okay.
Seen Titanic, and I would say that is a score.
That is, yeah, My Heart Will Go On. I mean, come on.
And Supermassive Black Hole by Muse.
Never saw Twilight.
I've seen it a million times, and it does play during that baseball scene.
So it's great? So it makes you think of the movie?
I
guess you heard the song more often. But
I would say because they showed me the picture, it connected the dots for me.
Okay.
I don't know if I would have just remembered that.
But is it because... So for me, like, I like Muse. They're great. They're fun. They're fun live. I've seen them live.
Yeah.
But I will know the song when they play it. But if you ask me to name a song by Muse, I will not be able to.
Yeah.
So that may be an issue for me going, hey, I may recognize this song if I hear it and go, yeah, every time I hear that song, I think of this movie.
Right.
But reading it tells me nothing.
You don't know that song, though? That,
which one is it? That's what I'm trying to say.
Massive Black Hole is their big song. It's like all of their songs are epic, but it's like, wow, 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 wow. I'm trying to think of how the actual guitar riff goes. Because it's like long and it has a long introduction. It's like something about take you there.
I just know a lot of fuzz. They have a lot of fuzz on their guitars.
I wish I could remember. It's on the tip of my mind.
We'll listen to it after this.
Yeah, we will. Don't you forget
about
it.
I mean, at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's iconic.
These ending songs.
If the movie ends on it, yep.
Twist and Shout and Ferris Bueller when he's doing the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I've seen Easy A, but I don't remember this.
I don't either, but I know the song.
Yeah, so obviously it wasn't iconic to us.
And then Good Vibrations, I would say that song reminds me of Vanilla Sky.
I'm familiar with it. I've never seen it. With Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And then I never saw Us either. I heard Us is pretty good.
And that's In Us. I don't know what this movie is. Is it? Oh, no, it's just Us.
Yeah, for some reason In is...
Okay. Yeah, that threw me off. I was like, what's In Us?
In is highlighted for whatever reason.
I've seen Us. I definitely would not relate that song to that movie, though.
I mean, I could see how it would be related because it's a horror film and Good Vibrations is a really upbeat song. That's why Don't Stop Me Now kind of is stuck in your brain because it's a horror film. Granted, that's more of like a comedy horror with Shaun of the Dead, but
yeah,
it's a scene where people are dying. And it's like intense, so you have to be upbeat that kind of sets it off. It's the opposite, so I can see why this would be iconic.
Yeah, kind of like that movie Psycho, or American Psycho.
Yeah.
You know, whenever he's all like, yeah, Casey and the Sunshines, or whatever. I think he's talking about Casey and the Sunshines.
Yeah, and he's like dancing in his
mark. He's like grooving, and then he goes all murderous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like that.
Tiny Dancer and Almost Famous are all singing on the bus.
I've never seen that. I might have seen it when I was young, but I don't remember it.
The movie's great. I think it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest music movies. Like, movies based on...
I think it's about a chick who becomes a roadie, right?
No, so if I give you the description of the movie, I would say it is about a kid that is in high school, that is a writer.
Okay.
He writes for his school newspaper.
Okay.
He goes to a concert, ends up getting hooked up with this band, and ends up going on tour with them and writing for the Rolling Stone. To write an article for the Rolling Stone. It is centered around him and Kate Hudson. Mm-hmm. Kate Hudson is one of the main characters because she's not a roadie. she's a band-aid is what she labels herself as, because she doesn't. Her whole goal is not to just sleep with everybody in the band, even though that's what she ends up doing.
But but she just goes on tour with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have seen it. Yeah, it does remind me of that.
Not a roadie, but what do they call them? Because a roadie is somebody that helps like set stuff up. It's not called a roadie, but she calls herself a band-aid because she's not there to sleep with the band.
Okay, but what would be a groupie? Would be somebody who sleeps with the band?
That's what it is, yeah. So
Okay.
she's not a groupie because they try to label her as that, and they say something, I don't know. She ends up sleeping with the whole band anyway, but...
Spoiler alert.
The movie came out in like 99.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. But if the whole basis is that she doesn't do that, then to say that she does it, it's like ruins it.
Well, that's what she says. Like in one scene, she's like, "Oh, so you're one of the groupies, right?" She's like, "No, we're not groupies. We're band-aids." He's like, "Well,
That's
what's the difference? We're not here to. Our whole goal isn't to be able to sleep with the whole band." I'm like, all right.
Yeah, our goal is to provide aid to the band.
Like just hang around. Like,
Yeah.
No.
No, you're a couch surfer.
Yes. Never saw Cruel Intentions,
I have, and I do remember that scene.
but I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
I always think, for me, when I hear Bittersweet Symphony, I think of wrestling. Because there was like we had like a VHS, we recorded something off of like a live, like WWE something, and it had this song in it.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I think there's a Nike commercial with that song on it.
Oh, okay.
That it reminds me of.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I couldn't get into it.
It's good. And number two, the movie, it's another one where it has a big soundtrack, so it's hard to pin one song on the movie.
Yeah, because I heard the whole soundtrack's actually really good.
Yeah, both 1 and 2, they're both like, 70s rock, 80s rock. I think it's all 70s actually. It's like classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just an opening sequence to the second movie, which is awesome. It's an awesome sequence.
Yeah.
And they're like fighting this monster, and they're all doing it to this song. It's awesome.
So again, it's that contrast.
Yeah. Yeah.
The contrast of like it's a really upbeat song and something like menacing is happening in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Kids in America, 100% circle back to Clueless again.
Yeah.
We're the kids in America.
All goes full circle.
Yep, full circle.
I never saw Call Me By Your Name. I've never even heard of it.
Same. I don't know what that is. Oh, I'm a believer.
Shrek.
Oh,
Yes.
100% that song. Everybody knows that song. Even when I hear that song, I think of Shrek.
You automatically think Shrek.
I hate it. I hate Shrek.
Oh, really? Is it because you've seen it too many times?
No, I haven't seen it that much.
Oh,
I don't watch it that much. I think it's just stupid.
Well, going back to like movies I watched in school, this was one movie I watched in elementary school, and I remember being a kid in like 4th or 5th grade, and thinking it was like we were doing something wrong watching Shrek at school because he calls Donkey an ass.
Dude, I remember we had a substitute teacher at school one time, and we watched the Goonies, and I'd never seen the Goonies before, but everybody loved it. So it's like, oh, this is a classic. And then there's a statue where the dude's penis falls off, and they glue it back on. I'm like, is this on? This teacher's just like sitting there, not even tripping.
Right.
They glued it on, upside down. Another spoiler alert.
So I guess the episode's just gonna be called Spoiler Alert, right?
Spoiler alerts.
I've seen the movie. This is not what comes to mind. Granted,
Same.
I've only seen it once.
Same. But number 20, that I definitely remember that. They sing it together.
Everybody sings it.
Anytime there's a song that everybody gets together and sings, and yeah.
When it's not in the background, when literally that's what the whole scene is wrapped around, is them singing that song.
Yeah. It was kind of like that Almost Famous. I was reading about that, and they said that that's what made it so good is everybody was singing it on the bus.
Yeah.
So
that's what ends up happening. Like one of the guys is sad at the front.
Uh-huh.
And then by the end of the song, he's like, everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
And they're just singing along to this song. Yeah, because it was like right after something bad happened.
Percy Jackson, never seen.
If this is the first one, I think I've seen it once. Doesn't help me at all. Legally Blonde, I've seen this more than once.
I've seen the sequel to Legally Blonde, but not the original. Funny enough. And only because I worked at the theater. So I like had to preview it.
Was it like... it had to do something with USA in the title, right?
I don't remember
Or
what
America.
It was.
It had to have been something really stupid.
It was Legally Blonde 2. I don't know.
Like 2.
White. Oh yeah,
Red, white, and blonde.
Yeah.
I should not know that, but I do.
We had to anytime we preview movies, because like now they're all digital, but back when I worked there, we'd reel them up the night before.
Oh, and you have to like paste the reels together. And
yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
Right?
So they come in like
It's an
5
actual art
reels,
form.
and then you like reel them all together, and then you reel the trailers in there, and then we would do like 3 or 4 movies come out on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And then we'd have to split them up and be like, okay, who's going to preview this? Because you have to preview them to see, are there any problems with the movie?
Oh, to see if there's any problem with the actual film.
Yeah, or like, what if like you splice the sound backwards, and then you have a whole theater full of people ready to watch it, and you don't know until the movie's going, and then you have to issue rain checks because you can't just reverse it when it's going through.
Right.
The whole thing's ruined. So they have to preview.
So it sounds like something like that has happened to you before.
Not to me. I was good at my job, but I
worked
worked with some people
while you were there. Okay.
And then even after I quit working at the theater, Charity started working in the booth.
Yeah.
And she got fired for screwing up movies.
Well,
yes.
so
she screwed up. You screw up enough, they fire you.
So I got a lot of questions about this, but go ahead and tell me this story first, and I'm going to ask you 1,000 questions
I guess
about this
the point of the story is I've had to watch like Pooh's Heffalump. I had to watch Bridget Jones's Diary Part 2, and I've had to watch Legally Blonde. Like I've had to watch some movies that I would never watch. And it's just funny. It stands out to you.
Like, so when you're previewing one of these movies, I'm assuming that you've done it enough times. Even if you just work there for a short period of time, you watch a lot of movies. The movies come out every weekend.
Yeah.
And you splice together a lot of movies that eventually you come to know, oh, each reel is 32 minutes. So I know that at 32 minutes, the next reel is going to come up. So this is about the time that I need to really pay attention. Is that kind of how it went, or did you actually like really get into the movies?
No, you just watch the movie because you're also looking for scratches, because if you scratch, it's easy to scratch them, and you don't want to be the one responsible for it. So if there's a blemish where it's scratching, you have to go stop it as fast as possible to stop it from continuing to scratch the movie. Because it could be anything from like it gets off on one of the rollers.
Yeah.
Or there's a screw that's scratching it. It could be anything that's scratching a movie. So you don't want that responsibility. So you keep an eye on that, but not really. You can tell, even in Fight Club, funny, another full circle. In Fight Club, they talk about how you can tell when the reel is going to change because there's a marker in
there's that little block thing at the top.
And that was still there.
Oh, it's a real thing?
It was a real thing, yeah.
It.
Like you would see it, and it would be a second. It would just flash for a second and switch reels.
Yeah, and that's when he put in that little
yeah, exactly.
That one little frame of a sex scene.
So no, I would get into it, but I don't know. I don't think that it's not like you watch with like such care. You know when something's screwed up.
No, you're not paying attention to the movie. You're watching for.
Yeah, I mean, I would just watch. I guess my point is I would watch the movie and then you notice something screwed up.
Oh, okay.
You see it. You know, you get so used to it that even when you work in the booth and you're walking through, because you pretty much you have rounds, and each round you go through and you reel up each movie, you start them, you play them on a certain time, you have like a watch, you're like start them at this time.
Yeah.
And then you're walking through and you just look through the porthole glasses. So you're used to looking at movies all the time through porthole glasses, and you see if there's something screwed up.
So what's a porthole glass?
Like when you're in the theater and you look up and you see like the window that the theater.
Oh, so it's a little window that okay.
Yeah. So you just look through those windows all the time.
Yeah.
And then I've watched the end of some movies 100 times because like at the end of your shift, you get to go home whenever the last movie plays.
Yeah,
so if you got like a 3-hour movie,
yeah.
like I remember Coach Carter, I've never seen it, but I've seen the ending 1,000,000 times because I'm like, this movie is when I get to go home when it ends.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to watch it.
Coach Carter?
The whole movie is so good. And honestly, I think it's even relevant to today.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I'll check it out.
Like,
I've had no interest because I was scarred.
Well, because you know how it ends.
Yeah, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
If you don't remember off the top of your head, then
I'm
that's
watch
good.
It. Okay, yeah.
That's good. Because the ending of that movie, it's good. I'm just going to say that.
Okay, all right. I'll watch it.
But the whole movie is good because it's basically about a coach that comes into an inner city team that's having problems, and he fixes up an inner city basketball team. That's
classic.
The best way I can say it. But the way he does it he goes about it differently than I would say like Dangerous Minds or like they did it in Remember the Titans.
Hard Pitch or whatever that
Does
Keanu
it
Reeves.
differently than that, yeah.
Okay.
He does it in a different manner in a way that I think some people could use today.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
all right.
I've watched it recently. I saved it on my DVR because it's good.
That's so random. Like that's the one example that came to mind, and you're like just recently watched it.
Yeah, I've got it on my DVR, dude. It's
I've
good.
never
watched
met
it in the last
anybody
2
who's
weeks or
like,
so.
"Oh, I've seen Coach Carter before." Like I've never talked to anybody who's ever
Really?
said that.
See, like there's like when it comes to movies, like my favorite genre would be a psychological thriller.
Okay.
So like Memento, Seven,
The new Batman. You would love
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yes.
like psychological thrillers are my favorite genre. But if it's something where I'm bored and I want to watch a movie, my other two favorite genres would be anything that's sports related. So sports movies are always good to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be heartfelt. Like I watched the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
There's like hardly any baseball in it. And it's so good to me.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Like that, or like and music movies, movies that are based around music. It could be a movie based around like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's based around a character like a biopic almost. Like those are cool.
Is that the movie, the Freddie Mercury movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I did see that one.
So I mean, like even movies like that are cool, but
Yeah.
even stuff like Almost Famous or like Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg, like they're just fun for me. I don't know. Those are my three top movie
Cool.
genres. So yeah, any kind of sports movie, I've probably watched it and probably enjoyed it.
What about Remember the Titans? You've seen it a bunch?
Seen it. Well, we watched that one at school a lot too.
I watched
yeah.
that one a lot as a kid. That
Yeah.
was good.
You Remember the Titans is good. If you haven't seen Facing the Giants is really good.
Nope, never seen it.
I think it's a Pure Flick film.
Oh, maybe I have heard about it because you know how like YouTube always advertises Pure Flicks.
Yeah. Or maybe it's there's another Christian television company.
I think that was it. I think that is.
But there's a famous scene of like some kid like doing like bear crawls or something, and like the coach yelling at him, and the kid like trying to give up, and the coach, he's not really yelling at him, but just giving him like a motivational speech as he's like doing these bear crawls, and he's like, I want to give up, and he's like, don't give up, blah blah blah, and he keeps talking to him, and he's like, hey, why don't you stop and look up, and he's like, oh geez, I finished this a long time ago. Yeah, I mean that's a real famous scene. It's real motivational.
All right.
But,
That sounds motivational.
Yeah.
Sounds like G.I. Jane. You know.
yeah.
I'm not ringing the bell.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and finish this up here since we already have it open. Sweet Dreams and X-Men Apocalypse. I don't think I've seen Apocalypse. That's the newest one? So the third one out of the new X-Men?
Dude, it sucked. I don't. Is it the most recent one? I think so. Yeah.
I saw First Class, and I think that was the only one I watched out of
That's
the new ones.
the best one out of those. Like
Out of the prequels?
the prequels. Yeah. Now that X-Men are coming to the MCU, everything's gonna be gold. No trash. It's gonna be solid.
Oh, so why do you think that?
Because, dude, they have the best writers, the best production. They write stuff so far out. They put out gold every time.
No, but the thing is it's not the same writers that. It's not like they have like 8 writers that do it all.
No, but they have the same producing team. And the production team comes up with the story arcs. And
So the production team does literally everything.
dude, that's why they have Phase 4. Phase 4 that they're in right now, they planned it at Phase 1.
I thought Phase 4 should already be done.
No, it just started. It
Did it
started
really?
this last year. It started after Thanos stuff. Nat.
Oh,
yeah.
was Thanos in Phase 3?
Yes, Thanos ended Phase 3, and Thanos was
I didn't
talked
realize
about
that.
in Phase 1, 2, and 3. Like,
Right.
they showed it was a huge buildup. They created this idea a long time ago. Now, they do say, you know, they give, like, story arcs, and they give, like, certain stuff to different writers. You're right. So there are different writers, there's different directors. Some movies are better than others. But the production, it's produced by the same team. So it's solid every time.
All right.
I can't think of a single MCU one that's not good. They might not be the best, but
We're like, there's some that are better than others, but in
Yeah.
the end, it's at a minimum okay.
yeah, like that Captain America and Falcon was the worst Disney Plus show, but it was good.
Okay.
I liked watching it every week.
So like I think about like the second Ant-Man, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, maybe.
Yeah, Ant-Man would be on the lower scale in
I
my
go.
mind.
I mean, it was
It was good.
all right, I guess. It wasn't great, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was good.
Exactly. I haven't rewatched it.
Yeah.
I don't really rewatch a lot of them, but I would put that in the bottom. Both Ant-Mans. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
these are good movies. If these were made by Sony, they would be so trash.
You think
It'd
they'd be
be
trash?
embarrassing. It'd be like, shaking my head. Like that's the way I feel about the X-Men movies. So,
Really?
Apocalypse, man, it is so stupid.
I mean, I never saw it, so I can't speak to it.
And I love X-Men.
I mean, honestly, that would be a good like TV show.
X-Men.
Because there's so many different X-Men and so many different storylines
Yeah.
that they could go down that
I'm
I think
sure.
it would last for a long time.
I'm sure they'll do it in Disney
and it
Plus.
wouldn't get boring.
Nah.
Because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was saying that really when you're doing a TV show, you need to come up with an end. And I think you need to come up with an end early on.
Yeah, me too.
Otherwise, you just drag it on and it just becomes rinse and repeat, and people
I know.
get uninterested.
I
That's
agree.
why things like Breaking Bad was so good, because they ended it after 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my mind goes to 5 seasons is probably good.
5
But
seasons good.
with X-Men, because there's so many different characters, I feel like that one would be something they could do for a long time, and it wouldn't get boring.
Yeah, and I would think that they would probably do different. You know, they wouldn't just be X-Men. It would just be different mutants. Kind of like right now on Disney Plus. You could technically say every Disney Plus Marvel show is the same thing because it's all superheroes.
Does it all tie together?
Yeah, it
It
all
does?
ties together. It all ties with the movies. Everything ties together. It's all tied into Phase 4, of
okay.
MCU. So the movies tie in with the TV shows and so forth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like
I guess if you watch them all, I bet that's really awesome to go, ooh, hey, look, I remember when they talked about this in this show.
Oh, and they don't just talk about it; they build on it so that it's like now go over. Like here's an example: WandaVision was super good, and it ends with all right, now you need to go watch Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. You know what I mean? That's coming up.
Oh, okay.
And the Loki show talks about multiverses, and then now the Spider-Man movie, multiverse. It's all so it's all tying together with like this huge issue. I think the issue that was created in the most recent Spider-Man movie is what's going to be the problem, and that Doctor Strange has to solve in the new Doctor Strange movie.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So
They
tie
tie together, dude. They do. It could be one show basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. You could tell I love it.
That's cool. And then the last one they have on here is Holding Out for a Hero in Shrek 2. I never saw it.
I didn't either. And that's not as iconic as Now I'm a Believer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I even think of the opening scene when they do that Smash
Yeah,
Mouth
me
song.
too.
I always think Shrek.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that song I knew before Shrek. Before I
for
saw it on
sure.
Shrek.
Yeah.
And it
So did
doesn't
I.
matter. Shrek rewrote history.
I like the way you say that.
Shrek adopted that song, and now that song is awful.
Oh, I mean, was it ever really that good?
I mean, was Smash Mouth ever that good?
That's basically what I'm getting at here.
They weren't bad, but it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea.
Yeah. So we're gonna. I know all this has been kind of off the top, but we're gonna do one thing here.
All right.
I want to get an honest reaction on a couple of things. So I'm gonna show you a couple of videos that I want to just get your reaction on them.
All right.
First one, I would say, in my opinion, the worst beer disaster of all time.
Worse than whenever it blew up in our. Oh, I've seen this. Remember when it blew up in my closet?
Oh yeah.
This is what I
Tell everybody about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same situation, right? It was just It was what is it? Over yeastified? What do you call it?
There wasn't enough headroom, so like So what happens in beer is the yeast eats sugar and creates CO2.
Yeah.
So when there was too much CO2 for the headroom that was there, so it blew off the top of it and fermented beer went all over your closet.
Yeah, it smelled, and I was out of town, so you had to show
That was
up.
great.
You had to show up and fix it. I had to call my wife. It's like, all right, Joe's coming over. We got a catastrophe.
But
It wasn't
save
like that,
the
though.
beer.
Yes,
Save the beer.
Joe's coming to save the beer. But dude, I've seen this.
No, wait. Was that the first batch of Rotten Peach?
Yeah,
Dude, that beer ended up being so good.
it was so good, and it was so explosive.
Not in the weird way.
This video though, this guy just looks so defeated. He's like, "What do I do?"
I mean,
There's
really,
nothing
what
can
do you do?
You just have to wait. You gonna get a bucket and try to catch some of it. You just gotta wait for it to stop.
Like
So-
that beer's just gone.
Yeah. So what happened here?
I have no idea.
Is it same thing? Too much CO2, not enough room?
Probably. I would guess, and it just blew off whatever cap they had on there.
You would think in those big tanks they have like overflow stuff.
Or
but
they
I
have
guess
like
they don't, huh?
pressure valves of some kind, and maybe one of the pressure valves didn't work right. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I've looked at a few different, like doing these interviews, I've seen a few different commercial breweries and looked at their stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand how their stuff works.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, it's the same thing kind of, but not really at the same time, just larger scale. So I don't know. I would guess though, I mean, for safety measures, that there would be some sort of pressure release of some kind, right? Wouldn't you think?
You would think, yeah.
Maybe this is the pressure release
I wonder,
going off.
yeah, we need to figure out who dropped the ball here. There's these videos that I see sometimes of like kids at skate parks, and then like it's usually a little kid on a scooter running into someone on a skateboard, and it's always like, who's at fault? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, whose fault is it that they ran into each other? Whose fault is this? I want to know, like, what went wrong here?
Right.
Huh. Maybe we'll figure this mystery out one day.
That does make me sad to see, though, but it also makes it look like there's just mustard all over the place.
It's mustard.
There's mustard everywhere.
He put too much mustard in the beer.
Yeah, I guess. So got another one here for you. You play this video. Like, will you have lagers? No? Will you have great lagers?
Dang.
Hazy IPAs and fruited sours.
Yeah, everybody loves the fruit sours.
So that's the thing, is
I like
hazy
a lager.
IPAs and fruited sours are super, super popular.
Yeah.
And that's where this comes into play, is that he's like the real beer connoisseurs like, hey, so do you have lagers? It was, no.
Like, what's a lager?
We do hazy IPAs and fruited sours. Why? Because that's what everybody else wants.
Mm-hmm. We have snakes and what is this? Damn it.
We have snakes and sparklers.
Yeah, I ruined the joke. We got snakes and sparklers. That's it.
Get out of here. All right, so last one here. This is a weird fighting technique. So tell me what you think about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, what if you showed up at that brewery and this is what's going on? What is this? He's like, it's like, he's being legit.
Is it a
like
valid
he's legit
technique?
training?
Is it a valid technique? That's the question.
No, because what attack comes from the groin like that?
No. I don't think it's about an attack. I think it's more about trying to keep distance. Or maybe like, there's not even leg kicks really. Just watch out for my massive penis.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like you could put those on your knees and have the same approach where you have to stand back off the knees. Yeah, like what? Dude, is this a real item that like gym owners are buying and stuff? Trainers and stuff are buying this to train fighters?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I follow this MMA Uncensored, and they post a lot of MMA news and stuff, but then they'll sometimes put some random stuff like this on there. Like random techniques. They do that stuff where like I don't know, I always think of like Asian guys that are hitting people and they're like falling asleep real weird.
Yes, it's like it's
almost
like
Vulcan neck pinch and that person falls asleep.
There's a guy, funny you brought that up. There's a guy he's a bare knuckle boxer, and I've been following him for a long time, since before he's bare knuckle boxing. And I found this guy because he has this page called like Karen's Gone Wild.
Okay.
All right. So it's weird how I got this guy, right? So there's this Karen's Gone Wild page, and it just shows classic situation of people going, I need to talk to a manager, yelling, like over the top, extreme Karens. And he did a Instagram live one time. So I was like, oh, what's going on? Karen's Gone Wild Instagram live. I thought there'd be like a live Karen incident.
Yeah.
And then it was this Indian dude. He's Indian. And he was just like talking. And I even like commented. I was like, dude, you don't look like a Karen. And he was like reading the comments. He's like, don't look like a Karen. So I thought it was funny. He like even read my thing. But then I saw that there's a link to a fake black belt page.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, let me go to this black belt page. And it's him. And he's an MMA fighter. And then he's in bare knuckle boxing right now.
Yeah.
But he does this technique, and I can't figure out if he's doing it as a spoof or if he really believes that he's doing it.
Okay.
But because the page is called Fake Black Belts.
Yeah.
But he's got tons of footage of him even in the streets, and he like, you know, will like come up to you and like it's almost like hypnosis, where he like touches you and then puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
And he says that he brings it into bare knuckle boxing and MMA, but I've watched his bare knuckle boxing and I'm like, dude, where's your technique? Put this dude to sleep.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that, but it's always like those like
this is the page, yeah,
where they have like the gi on and they're doing karate. It's like weird karate stuff is what I've seen.
Yeah.
Look, he's not even touching the guy.
Oh, he's doing it as a pastor. See, this is where I'm like, is he being serious? Because he talks about it as if he's serious.
No, this can't be real.
Yeah, this is like, you know, fake prosperity type pastor stuff.
Yeah, like the healing stuff.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit pastors that can
I don't know about
gift
all
of
that.
the Holy Spirit. But like this, see? Like doom, boom, oh.
No, that's not real at all.
But he does it in the streets and he like records it as if it's real.
There's no way this is real.
This is him right there though, that bare knuckle fight.
There's no way this is real.
I know. He calls it like Kinshu, or he has a name for it, dude. It's like
I've seen this
energy
stuff.
transfer knockout. Yeah, it's so whack.
Yeah, this can't. I mean, I don't believe in
Essentially, they're doing the same thing as those pastors who like take their jackets off and whip people with it,
Yeah.
and then they fall out. It's the same stuff.
Yeah. No,
except
I don't
for you're
say
saying that it's martial arts.
Yeah, this is fake, and nobody needs to listen to it. This is the definition of fake news.
Yeah, definition.
So. Yeah, no thanks.
It's weird though that he passes it off like he's being serious. I don't get the joke.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But so you say that that weird stick thing on your crotch?
Yeah,
not a real technique.
Crotch stick. I guess, are you asking me if I think it's a real thing that gym trainers are using?
Oh, I'm sure it's a real thing that gym trainers are using. I'm saying, do you think it's a valid technique?
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
Kick someone in the leg instead. Make them move away from that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm like, there's better ways to make sure people stay distant without looking like an idiot. You look so stupid with that thing.
100%.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. But, man, it sounds like the beer that I made was successful. Sounds like I did good, so I need to try to keep it up.
Props.
I got another one for this month, so we'll see how that turns out. But I appreciate you stopping by and coming on. Everybody make sure to go online and follow us at _Dudes&Brews. Find us on Instagram and Untappd. But we're out of here.
Cheers. Peace.
It's available, and this stuff is amazing. We've got a few awesome designs. We even have all new pint glasses and stickers. You know you want one of those glasses. I mean, you already drink a beer while watching the show anyway, so you might as well support the show and put your beer in one of our glasses. The link is in the description, so hit that link and pick up something from us today. Make sure that you use the code DUDES10 at checkout to receive 10% off your order. Again, that's DUDES, D-U-D-E-S, 10, the number 10, 10, at checkout to receive 10% off of your order. We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on, we're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.